Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. I am super excited to bring in Sullivan, founder of Bomb Tech Golf, an e-commerce expert, I should add. And Sully, welcome to the program.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. So you are an entrepreneur right now running multiple businesses that actually are growing. And that is huge, as this is the first show of 2021. So let's start with your background. Where are you from and where did you get the entrepreneurial bug?
Yeah, accidental entrepreneur. Had no intentions of doing this. I was attempting to be the world's best long driver, which is like the home run derby of golf, and just ended up breaking a number of golf clubs, just started assembling my own, made the world's worst website, accidentally sold a club off of there, and just was hooked. You know, that was kind of the moment where I said, I need to do more of that.
I love it. My friend, you're going to have to teach me a thing or two about golf, because I probably would break those golf clubs, because I think that I get golf clubs and baseball bats confused occasionally, but that's a separate story. So Sully, you are the founder of Bomb Tech Golf, an e-commerce store with over $20 million sold online since 2012. And you also run Ecom Growers, where you and your team have helped countless Shopify customers add 6 to 7 figures in additional sales to their e-commerce stores. So obviously the question where I want to start over here is, how do you grow? How do you start an e-commerce brand?
I mean, my story of starting is really, one of passion. Like it was 2012. So this was pre like Shopify being easy to set up. So today the barrier to entry is much lower, but I mean, I went a very difficult route. I mean, I ended up designing a golf driver with my local college, the University of Vermont. And we worked with, a group of students and faculty for a year to design our own brand. I mean, I cashed in my 401k. I don't recommend anyone doing what I did. And really, I did it totally out of passion, had success just documenting my journey on Facebook and Instagram early days, when Facebook was new, and really just used that platform to engage with my customers, and literally, was able to scale it once Facebook ads came out, because I was pre-Facebook ads. And, I went real quickly, from a side hustle to a full-time gig. And now I make more money than I ever could, but it was never the intention, and I had some life events and epiphanies that happened. Like I was fired from my day job when my wife was pregnant the week before Thanksgiving. And that motivated me just a little bit to turn a side hustle into, a high 7, almost 8-figure brand, because I had to.
It's an inspiring story. So there's a couple of pieces that I want to pick apart at what you just mentioned. Advertising. Right now, advertising is the thing. And in fact, before the end of the show, I'm going to talk about a transition into how 2020 is, I think, going to evolve, how 2021 will work. But how did you make advertising profitable?
Yeah, so I look at it now and it seems very simple and clear, but back then we tried so many things. So really, I break it down into, paid traffic, and then, which is the front end, and then email and SMS, which is your back end, which is where you have most of your profit. So for us, we tend to run like a 5x return on ad spend. That's our goal. And we work with about 35 clients that are doing, 7, 8, almost 9 figures. And we help them with their email and SMS or their back end. And really, it sounds weird, but you have to have a strong email program and SMS program to make the front end profitable. So really, that's what we found out, was that if we got our revenue percent from email to a certain threshold, we knew predictably we'd have a high enough lifetime value, and we could run ads and scale to a point where we want, and we still have room to push. But you gotta, and everyone just kind of glazes over the back end email, and really your only asset that you truly own, which is your list. And I'm not sure why that is, but so that's why we do that specifically and only for e-com brands, is we manage their Klaviyo, and what we believe is their most valuable asset. Is what happens if, Facebook ads go to hell tomorrow and you have and you can't make your list profitable and you've got a ton of inventory. So we really look at that and manage that as the true way to make your front end profitable.
Yeah, it's pretty wild what you have done through advertising. So one thing that you briefly mentioned, but I've read a little bit about you, is working 4 hours a week, but making 7 figures. Is that even possible?
Yeah. So, I mean, let me preface this, that was not always the way. I used to work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I did that for 4 years. And again, these are like, I've had these life moments, and for me, it was always kid related. Like, so when I had my first kid, I was literally working 20 hours a day, assembling clubs myself, shipping clubs myself, doing all the wrong stuff, right? And sales were the lowest they ever been, and I was doing all the things you're not supposed to do because I felt busy. And then when I had my second child, I said, this is nuts. Like, I can't live like this anymore. And I hired a bunch of people. I set up systems, and I took 6 weeks off. What do you think happened to sales in those 6 weeks?
Probably everything happened at that point, right?
Well, sales went up. And
yeah. That was just a wild guess.
Yeah. So it made me realize that, okay, I can set up systems and hire people and get out of my own way. And it got to a point with BombTech that I truly worked 4 to 6 hours a week on it. And it's almost frustrating now because I'm like, I want to jump in and do more, but I have my experts in my certain areas. Got my email agency that does my email. I got my ad guy who does ads. I got my video guy does video. Customer service guys do that. Fulfillment does shipping. And really, I just coordinate those guys. And it's really only have 2 guys in house. And it took me 2 kids, multiple life changes and years to do it. If you told me day one, hey, you can do this 4 hours a week, I wouldn't believe you because I wanted to work all day, every day. And it was my passion. So that allowed me to set up another company with my first employee at BombTech. Again, another accidental, unexpected business, but that business we're deeper in the weeds with. But yeah, it's one of those things where life events had forced me and for the better to live life and let the business run without me, which it will run better.
Wow. I'm chatting with Sully Sullivan, the founder of BombTech Golf, e-commerce success story since 2012. And Sully, it's interesting. Something I'm picking up also from what you're saying is you're a master of delegation. I've heard 2 different mindsets in business of a lot of entrepreneurs that want to control everything in-house, and that's not to exclude delegation, but having employees that are subject matter experts. And then the other approach is having a lot of consultants. Which is your style?
I'm definitely an outsourced guy. I mean, I like, big picture, I'll take anyone who's truly the best. Like, I don't care if they're in-house, out of house, but I found that the agency model, number one, it's probably the hardest thing to do is to find and vet a true expert. That's like what I would spend most of my time doing. And I have a method for that. But really, like, my team is all outsourced because I believe, like, specifically on the paid ad or email side, like, those are my 2 revenue driving agencies I use. They have their hands in 30 clients or more. So they see things across different e-com, verticals and different things that they can bring into my account. Whereas if I had someone in-house, they just wouldn't have that type of, view into the market. So there's definitely, for me, that's been the least hands-on and the highest impact. So for me, I'm a big consultant expert guy, and just finding them is probably the hardest part.
All right, good. And in 30 seconds or less, what are your big plans for 2021?
Ski more, golf more, drink more beer.
I love it. Great synopsis. Again, have been chatting with the founder of BombTech Golf, as well as Ecom Growers, Sully Sullivan. Thank you so much for sharing your story and advice with our listeners. I know you have been hyper-focused on the customer experience, something we'll talk some more about throughout the program. Sully, if folks want to learn more about your businesses and about your story, where can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, I've been super active on LinkedIn, having some fun conversations there. If you're a golfer, bombtechgolf.com, or if you're an e-commerce brand doing 7 figures or more, we'd love to do an audit for you at ecomgrowers.com, and hopefully I can help out.
Well, appreciate you joining us. You already have. So best of luck to you in 2021. And again, thanks for joining us on Get Down to Business.
Glad to be here. Thanks so much for the time.
Absolutely. And a shout out for all of your transportation needs. Be sure to check out ChicagoSignatureLimo.com, a friend of Get Down to Business, as well as for all of your health insurance needs. Check out healthplanschicago.com for, again, quotes on the Affordable Care Act and any of your insurance needs for your business or personally. We're going to squeeze in some headlines as well as a quick break, and we'll be back on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship on Get Down to Business in just a moment.